In my last video, I introduced all of the Rancor-related statues I have in my collection, but I don't have all of them, because when it comes to the Rancor, or indeed anyone aside from Jabba himself in Jabba's palace, I am not a completist. I don't necessarily feel the need to get everything. And that is doubly true when the items in question are extremely expensive, as are the ones that I'm going to be showing you today. So let's go ahead and take a look at 4 super high-end items that I will probably never have in my collection. The first item is this limited edition Luke vs. Rancor Pewter diorama by Royal Selangor in Malaysia. This originally sold for around $1,000 and was limited to 500 pieces, although I have my doubts that they sold anywhere near that. I'm now seeing this discounted to closer to $600, and in fact, if you look on Royal Selangor's site at the moment, they don't list it at all, so I'm guessing that it's been discontinued. It's about 8 or 9 inches tall and weighs about 6 pounds, which is somewhat impressive, I guess, and I'm sure it looks cool in person. I do have their Leia statue, as I mentioned in my Huttslayer Leia Collectibles video, and I do like it. But still, $1,000 for this? The sculpt doesn't even seem that great. I think I can say with some confidence that unless I find an amazing discount somewhere, I'm not going to be adding this one to my collection. And I kind of hope that they never come out with a Jabba statue, because then I'll feel obligated to get it. Next up, we have a bronze Rancor statue released by Dark Horse Comics and Bowen Designs in 1998. This was limited to 50 pieces and originally sold for $3,000, and whenever I've seen them for sale, which is not very often, they've been asking $10,000 plus. To be fair, this does seem like a pretty nice piece, and any kind of bronze statue generally goes for a lot of money. It's about 15 inches tall, weighs 25 pounds, and has a base of solid marble. It's well sculpted as well, although I don't know that it's any better than the AMT Ertl model kit that I introduced in my previous video. One thing I don't quite like about it is that they've tinted parts of it different colors, so if you look at the Gamorrean Guard closely, you can see that it's tinted green, and then the Rancor is sort of a brown, while his manacle is a different color again. You can see the effect better in this photo taken with a flash. I have a feeling that it's not that noticeable in person, but still, I don't really like the idea. I'd rather have my bronze statue look like a bronze statue and not something that's been painted with metallic paint. Either way, though, unless I win the lottery, I could just never justify spending this kind of money on a piece like this, so it's never going to be in my collection. The final 2 items we're going to be talking about today are both things that were released fairly recently and could still theoretically be purchased new. First we have is the Rancor Deluxe statue from Sideshow Collectibles. As you can see in this comparison, he is gigantic at nearly 30 inches tall, which makes him, as far as I know, the largest Rancor statue ever made. I'm sure this is a super impressive piece in person, and I've seen a lot of people gushing about it on YouTube reviews, but there are a couple of things about it that kind of put me off. The first of all was the gigantic price tag of $1,300. With the exception of my life-sized Jabba bust that I got from the original sculptor of Jabba, I've never spent anything near that on any single piece in my collection, so honestly that gave me pause. And some of the photos I've seen made it seem a little bit off in the sculpt, especially around the face area. It looks good in many of the official photos, but some of the in-hand photos I've seen make it look kind of weird and misshapen. Still, I'm sure the sheer size of it would make it extremely impressive in person, and I can't deny that I want one. One complicating factor is that it's already reached waitlist status on Sideshow's website, so that means that they've essentially sold all the ones that they have, and they're going to be selling off the last few to people who are on the waitlist. So even if I decided I definitely wanted one, I might have to end up paying considerably above retail to get it, which doesn't excite me. One interesting wrinkle in this whole thing is that Sideshow just a few days ago announced that they were going to be releasing a smaller version of this same statue called just the Rancor statue instead of the Rancor Deluxe statue like the bigger one. It will be 16 inches tall instead of 30 inches and will cost $600 instead of $1,300. Releasing 2 of the same statue in such wildly different scales is kind of an unusual move for Sideshow to make, but it's interesting. You can also see that it's got a plain base instead of one that's sculpted to look like the Rancor pit. While I do like the idea that their larger statue is in scale with their Jabba on Throne statue that I've reviewed on the channel before, I kind of think I might actually prefer this smaller size, just in terms of being able to fit it in my collection, and of course the cheaper price tag is also a welcome addition. So I may just end up getting this smaller one and calling it good. It's up for pre-order on Sideshow's site right now for an estimated delivery time of August to October of this year. This next one was painful for me to pass on. Regal Robot created this replica of the original filming puppet from Return of the Jedi. They used a scan of the original prop from the Lucasfilm archives and then cleaned it up and slightly reposed it digitally before casting it and painting it in their studio in New York. They even worked directly with Phil Tippett, who was the original sculptor of the Rancor, and it includes a signed plaque from him. This is definitely a holy grail piece for many collectors, myself included, but unfortunately the price was $3,000 plus shipping, and I just couldn't bring myself to spend that much on my hobby. They limited it to only 83 pieces, which is extremely low for this kind of thing, and they sold out very quickly, as I recall. To give you an idea of what this looks like in hand, I wanted to share with you a snippet of a video from Gordon Tarpley, who is the guy who actually worked on cleaning up the model for Regal Robot. They sent him an artist proof, and I think it looks really impressive standing next to him there. I'm really starting to regret not getting one of these, but I really didn't have any choice. If you compare this to the Sideshow piece, you can tell that the Sideshow one is more of an idealized version, and this is literally supposed to be a copy of the filming prop from the movie. By the way, here he is showing the prototype that he 3D printed on his Creality CR10S5 3D printer and used in the production process here. I thought that was really cool because I have a couple of those printers myself. I'm going to link to this video in the video description if you want to see the whole thing. It's actually really interesting if you're at all interested in how they made this piece. If there's a silver lining to this for me, it's that the scan that Regal Robot made for this was so good that we got to see a lot of detail, I think, that we never really saw on the Rancor before. And maybe that'll help companies in the future and other sculptors make more accurate reproductions of this monster. I'd like to hear your thoughts about these 4 pieces that I introduced today. Do you happen to own any of them? Or if you could choose one, which one would you choose? For me, it's the Regal Robot Rancor, hands down. Rancor Month will continue with more videos in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. This video was brought to you with the help of my patrons on Patreon, including these Palace VIPs and Angelica Brady. Click the link in the description to see how you can support me for as little as $1 a month. Thanks for watching!